Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Resurrection Cup 2025. Here with what is, I believe, now the last match of the weekend, a second round losers bracket matchup here in the semifinals between Tarczynski Esports and Waddle Dee. Tarczynski Esports having a pretty easy time yesterday, winning, I believe it was 6-2 over Snoopycore. Waddle Dee facing our one tiebreaker matchup of the weekend so far against Waddle Dee and making it through by a hair's breadth, an extremely close match for them. I'm Dio. I'm joined by Taikani for this matchup between the second seed in the tournament, who was previously upset by seed 10, and the 11th seed, Waddle Dee, looking to repeat that upset and make their own Cinderella story into the finals.
Yeah, Waddle Dee fought really, really hard yesterday. It was such an engaging match to watch with so many close points, ending in a really, really close tiebreaker that came down to a chain miss right at the end. And now, after such a close, brutal fight against Waddle Dee, you're going up against some of the best tournament players in the world. And you just have to rely on what you said, right? That C10 upset that we saw earlier in the quarterfinals, hoping that you can make that Cinderella story run possible, because it's go time, right? This is losers bracket. We are deep into it, and whoever loses is completely out of the tournament. Whoever wins moves on to the final stage. Their hopes alive for at least one more match.
Yeah, so we will see just how these teams face off against each other very soon. The one thing I will say, yesterday I saw a lot of people in chat saying that basically everyone on Tarczynski Esports was sight reading. They were also missing 2 players yesterday. So they played that match 3v5, still won 6-2. And that was with, I believe it was only Milosh having practiced the pool. It was either Milosh or Nahus. I don't remember which one of them had practiced the pool, but one player out of the 3 that showed up had practiced the pool, and they still won 6-2. So this is a team that is really solid. And now those 3 players who were there yesterday, Malashevsky, Nahus, and Milosh, they're going to know the pool because they've already played one of their matches this weekend. So you can expect those scores to get better. Not that there's much room for improvement. We saw Milosh FC the Nomad 2 yesterday. We saw some really ridiculous stuff from Malashevsky, double S-ing the Nomad 1, getting nearly an FC on the hidden one as well for, I believe it was Nahus. So all 3 of them popping off in that match, whereas Waddle Dee had some very good scores, like Plute on the Nomad 5, getting over 600k on that map, which that was one of the 2 maps that Tarczynski Esports lost yesterday, actually. So I like the Nomad 5 ban there, and the DT2 ban for Waddle Dee. This is a team that just does not play speed really at all, and so you're almost certainly expecting the DT3, the Nomad 2, potentially the DT1, but I think they're a lot more comfortable on that DT aim pick.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of those, you never really want to play DT2 as this team. Like you said, we saw it yesterday where it just like speed is just not their strong suit. And getting rid of it was a real top priority. We even saw yesterday the DT4 ban as opposed to kind of what was expected as a Nomad 2 ban from Waddle Dee, just to make sure that anything double time was gone as fast as possible. So absolutely agree with this DT2 ban here. The Nomad 5 ban from Tarczynski Esports is very interesting. Nomad 5 is a very interesting map for sure. Double Take is quite a weird gimmick map based on accelerating and decelerating slider velocities. It's a very kind of tough map, especially the sight read, right? Like, if you do not know this map, you're going to have an incredibly tough time through it, especially as throughout the first half of the map before you catch on to the gimmick. So really, really safe ban. I really like that ban from Tarczynski Esports.
And it's going to be the hidden one first pick here for Tarczynski Esports as well. This is, I believe, one of the maps that Waddle Dee actually lost yesterday, and Tarczynski Esports had a very, very good time. If memory serves, it was Nahus, but I might be misremembering, who had a really, really solid near FC on this map. And I think Malashevsky also had a pretty solid score on this map, 600-700k, something along those lines for Tarczynski Esports yesterday versus Snoopycore. Waddle Dee, meanwhile, losing this map, if memory serves, against Waddle Dee. Not quite able to put up as solid of a team-wide aim score against a roster that I think is a little bit better suited for hidden aim than theirs. And that's no exception here. You look at, again, the same three players from yesterday, Malashevsky, Nahus, and Milosh. I think those are the three expected players to go in on a map like this for Tarczynski Esports, even if they have all five. So no surprises that they had a good time on it yesterday, and no surprises to see them pick into it again, as those three players are fantastic on the awkward, wide angle, slightly fast hidden aim maps like this one.
Yeah, there is something interesting to note here is that the scores between these teams are not actually the farthest worlds apart. You're looking at 1.38 mil from Waddle Dee, and you're looking at 1.62 mil from Tarczynski Esports, with their highest score being the Malashevsky 700k one miss. So really the question kind of becomes, it feels like every player is averaging 400k on this map. And the question becomes, who has the highlight performance on Son of Robot, in my opinion. You're looking at basically a map where one player is going to get the highlight score, and that highlight score will be what takes your team to victory.
It has to be two highlight scores for Waddle Dee, given what we saw from Tarczynski Esports yesterday, but we'll see how this goes. And like you said, it's not that far apart in terms of the raw score, but I think the expectations going into this, now that it's no longer a sight read play for Tarczynski Esports, are a little higher today than yesterday. So we'll see if Waddle Dee can continue to keep up on the second day of Losers Bracket. Pikapone with a bit of an early drop. Malashevsky also breaking right at the start of the map. And I believe same for Birchman, breaking in like the first 5-10 combo there. So effectively the bottom row still on 4 full combos. Birchman's reverse choke so close to an FC, it won't really matter all that much. The top row generating a little bit of score lead right now for Tarczynski Esports, but less than 100 combo lead for the Polish squad at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, especially as we haven't gotten Ki until just now. Nujabes is going to go down. That's the first really, really big drop that we've seen so far. With the slight lead that Tarczynski already had, it's going to start to balloon that lead a little bit. Milosh and Nahus both go down. It's only Malashevsky holding the combo for this team now, and not too long against Pikapone, and Birchman is still holding a ton of combo for Waddle Dee, and that score difference is going to flip right over.
Yeah, the score now all on Birchman here, just absolutely crushing it. Still on the FC, 99 accuracy. The only player with the FC, but not the only player with big combo. Nujabes, TS Fury, had recovered during that Ki time, does now find the drop right at the end of that first Ki time. As we get the first break in this map, Birchman's going to see it's just his reverse choke versus the world right now. No FCs left in the lobby as he broke right in the first 10 combo of the map. But huge combo for Birchman and nobody else close. Finally, the nerves get to him right after that break. But that's a lot of damage done, Taikani. It's 80k, but it's coming back pretty quickly right now, as a lot of extra combo for the supporting members of Tarczynski Esports. These recoveries just going a little bit better for the Polish squad. Nujabes finding another break. Birchman's break a little bit more recent, breaking again now into the second Ki time as Pikapone with the only combo on Waddle Dee, and the consistent recovery for Tarczynski Esports takes it back.
Yeah, you don't need a big highlight score when this average score is starting to balloon so high. It's 500k average score across the board. Milosh finally finds a break, but Malashevsky and Nahus are doing good enough damage that score lead is still ballooning higher and higher as they build up combo. Like you said, it's only Pikapone really fighting, and the entirety of Waddle Dee breaks right at the end. If there was any chance, it's now gone. Tarczynski Esports, it looked a little spooky for a second with Birchman holding that really, really nice score, but 600k scores from Nahus and Malashevsky, 500 from Milosh. It will do just enough damage to take it with a 1.7 million total score from Tarczynski Esports.
Yeah, and it's really just slight edges for everyone on Tarczynski Esports. Nahus up 24k over Birchman. Malashevsky up 60k over Pikapone. Milosh up 80k over Nujabes, right? Less than 100k for each of those players individually, but it adds up to a decent margin. and the better overall average team score comes to a head and helps Tarczynski Esports take that first point. Not super convincing, not super one-sided either. It's relatively close from Waddle Dee. They had score lead at some point, and there was carry potential for Birchman on that map. And now we're getting an interesting one. Hyena Groove by Sage. Ayoko's cool hyena fact. As the first pick for Waddle Dee, swing, precision, and density in this free mod 4 pick. CS 5.5 AR9, swing, finger control, and aim control in this map, which is definitely a really tricky one, especially the Hard Rock players. You're dealing with a 7.5 star CS 7.15 swing map, which is really, really tough. So I almost think the team with the better hidden lineup usually should win this map, because I think the Hard Rock on this is so difficult, but then the density on hidden does make it pretty tricky as well. It's tough to feel out which one is harder, but the sheer mechanical difficulty on Hard Rock is next level on this map.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit in the map pool showcase, myself and Lighten, about how you're kind of picking your Hard Rock player as sort of a sacrifice in Hyena Group, right? You're saying, because, yeah, the mechanical difficulty of this map is just ridiculous. I mean, the combination of swing and just the general control aspect of Hyena Group just makes it so hard to play on Hard Rock, especially when you factor in the CS 5.5 you're playing at as well. And to be clear, this is not the anti-mod pick. It gets so tough to play this on Hard Rock, and you can't like put all your confidence in your Hard Rock player. So I agree. Yeah, the hidden roster is kind of your best shot. It is interesting to see this as the first pick. This was Waddle Dee's final pick yesterday, in which Flute was able to get a 327k score to close out the map. You know, maybe looking at trying to recreate the Flute and Birchman hidden lineup. But it's going to be really, really tough. You have some really scary hidden players on the other side of the field in tarczynski Esports.
All right, well, let's get into it here. Flute back on the hidden. Same for Pikapone. Hard Rock for Nujabes. That's TS Fury for Waddle Dee. Malashevsky, Milosh, and Nahus in once again for Tarczynski Esports. Hard Rock for Malashevsky, hidden for Milosh and Nahus. So this is both teams going with the double hidden and single Hard Rock, but a lot of early breaks coming through for Waddle Dee here. In fact, all of them having broken so far, with Nujabes really struggling there on the Hard Rock compared to Malashevsky. Milosh and Nahus both down a little bit in terms of score, but everybody finding breaks there, aside from Milosh and Nahus still on the double FC with hidden. Taikini, I don't know about you, but this pick kind of looks like a mistake right now from Waddle Dee. There's finally, though, a big double break for both of those hidden FCs on the Polish squad. Now Flute and Pikapone, the double hiddens for Waddle Dee, trying to take it back. But Flute can only match Malashevsky, so it has to be Pikapone bringing this back the way of Waddle Dee. And even then, it's 170,000 score lead, and combo is pretty much even between the two teams, as Nujabes just cannot hold on to that Hard Rock combo.
Yeah, the hidden players on Waddle Dee have so much work to do, and that doesn't help. If Pikapone's gonna find a break right before a break, every player can now see it. All the hope on this team is reliant on Flute, who now, I mean, I have to imagine they are feeling so nervous. You're facing off against Malashevsky with support, losing the support, losing the combo. There's a path back into that, but there is over 100k of score difference for Flute to recover on their lonesome.
Coming back pretty quickly, though. More misses coming through for Tarczynski Esports, but Flute gets slow slider, or actually breaks right before the slow slider. And that is going to be the end of the line here for Waddle Dee. No break point to happen, or no successful point to happen here on this pick. And really, the difference is just the overall team comfort for Tarczynski Esports. Milosh and Nahu's way more comfortable than Pikapone and Nujabes on this pick. Flute looking to top score the lobby, actually, with that hidden, but it's just not going to matter, as Pikapone and Nujabes just not nearly as comfortable on the support as Milosh and Nahus. And Flute, yes, top scores the lobby, but not by all that much, not enough to make up the difference.
Yeah, I think really key there was just Malachevsky's Hard Rock performance. I mean, that was 80K on its own extra compared to Milosh and Nahus. You compare it to the Hard Rock performance from Nujabes, and it's like not even a competition. It's almost double the score. Malachevsky was looking so comfortable all the way through. Whereas it felt like every other player in the lobby was constantly breaking. It felt like Malachevsky really had a handle on the Hard Rock, and it's going to lead to a crucial first break point for tarczynski esports.
And now on to the next pick for tarczynski esports, up 2-0. Do they want to just go with another one of these hidden picks? We've seen 2 maps so far, and, well, 6 hiddens on the first one, 4 on the second, for 10 hiddens so far, and it seemed to work out pretty well for them at this point. So maybe you just go with another hidden map here as tarczynski esports and see where that lands you, either the hidden 2 or the hidden 3. It does feel like those might be solid picks for you in this match. Of course, the Nomad 2, I think, is a good pick as well if Milosh can replicate even near the score he had yesterday. But no, going to be the Nomad 3 instead. This is another one that they were able to win yesterday. Excuse me, 1.7 million team score for tarczynski esports on this yesterday. And Waddle Dee also playing this, getting just under 1 million team score yesterday on this Nomad 3. So this is nearly double team score for tarczynski esports, looking at the 2 scores set by these teams yesterday. And yeah, it seems like a pretty solid pick for them.
Yeah, I would happen to agree. The kind of aim control aspect of this cannot be understated, and it's something that tarczynski esports are clearly so comfortable on, right? You kind of look at this in terms of averages, in terms of like what everyone's average score is on this, and it feels like for Waddle Dee, your average, you're looking at low to mid 300Ks. Just based on their performances from yesterday, where the average from tarczynski esports is nearing 600K. It's a really, really stark difference in terms of just like the pure comfort team-wide. And reminder, as you said at the beginning of the match, they were sight reading. So I can only imagine that the comfort on this map only goes up for the side of tarczynski esports.
Well, let's see how the Nomad 3 goes today. As you said, I feel like the comfort definitely goes up, having now played the map once through, at least, from yesterday's match for the Polish Death Squad here. Let's see how well this one goes for them, because it's pretty long, right? It's a 4-minute map. It is not only a difficult aim control and ult test, but also a consistency test within that skill set. And when it is this difficult, a consistency test of 4 minutes on something this hard is really, really tough. Already we see some breaks coming through for Pikapone and Nujabes. Just Birchman holding on to the FC now for Waddle Dee, as tarczynski esports loses only Nahus so far in the intro of this map. Malachevsky and Milosh still on the double FC with just Birchman to match for Waddle Dee. The supporting combos are building up for Waddle Dee, so it's not a huge difference right now, but there goes Birchman, and now tarczynski esports 2 unmatched full combos. Pikapone breaking as well. It's Nujabes kind of matching Nahus, but Malachevsky and Milosh just reigning free right now on this map.
And you see the difference in comfort in the way these players are aiming. We saw Birchman kind of throwing the cursor around in frustration after that break. Nujabes is going to find a break as well, and it feels like kind of the story of this map right now. It's just how comfortable Malachevsky and Milosh are. Malachevsky does find a break. It's only Milosh holding a full combo, but Malachevsky has done the damage, frankly. Nahus has done the damage. You're looking at this. Nujabes is the only player that even matches one of these players on tarczynski esports in terms of score, and he's matching the lowest score in tarczynski's roster right now. Milosh still holding an FC. It is looking really, really hard for Waddle Dee to come back, especially as this score difference climbing up about 250K and approaching 300.
Yeah, and look, as long as Milosh is holding onto this full combo, there's basically nothing that anyone on Waddle Dee can do to change the outcome of this map. Malashevsky and Nahus both individually are also matching Nujabes. And at this point, if you're Waddle Dee, especially if you are in chat right now watching the match, you're just thinking about, okay, what do we want to pick next? So for the other two members of Waddle Dee, let's just think about what to pick next rather than focusing on this match, because sun's a little bit over. Finally, the break comes through for Milosh, not before getting up above 500k on this Nomad 3, as Nahus and Malashevsky continue to do their thing. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good for Tarczynski Esports. Waddle Dee, you're not expected to win this map, so let's we'll lock in for the next one.
Yeah, this was always going to be one hell of a mountain to climb for Waddle Dee. This is not a pick that you're necessarily expecting to even be close on, frankly. And you're seeing the proof in the pudding right here. You have Milosh on track to finish above 600k. You have Malashevsky, had he not dropped his combo, not too far behind. Nahus not too far behind. It looks like Nahus has a miracle recovery on the way. Not that it was needed, but just to put some salt in the wound as we go into the final section of this map. Really, really good stuff from tarczynski Esports across the board. Every single player really contributed to this massive team score in the end. Waddle Dee, they've got some tough roads ahead. They're down a break point as well as two of Tarczynski's points, and they have to make sure, like, they have to lock this next pick in, because once you lose this, like, the momentum is just so hard to come back from, especially in a 1st to 6th round.
I'm looking at potential areas where maybe Waddle Dee can find some solid picks. The two maps that Tarczynski Esports lost yesterday obviously are at least should play a role in the conversation, right? DT4 and the Nomad 5. Now, they've already banned out the Nomad 5, so I really actually want to see a DT4 pick, since that's the one map that they also lost yesterday, but it's going to be a hidden 2 instead for Waddle Dee, going with something a little different here. Bizarre Blaze by Noah, mapped by Azasapag. 212 BPM, AR 7.7, partially mechanics focused at over 6 stars, but also partially overlap reading focused on this hidden 2.
Yeah, this hidden 2 is a weird one. Like you said, there is a good amount of mechanics here, right? You're looking at a hidden 2 that's fairly aim heavy across the board. But yeah, those overlaps absolutely play a role. There's also some weirder rhythms that are like, there's some like 1/2 rhythms that are mapped in a very, very strange looking way with new combo spam that can be really, really tough if you're not like super ready for it. Without the follow points, the kind of angles that the 1/2 rhythms in the KIs can go to feel kind of random at points. So you have to really, really feel locked in. You can't get caught off guard by the aim difficulty of those 1/2 rhythms. So we'll see. This is a tough one. I don't believe we saw Waddle Dee play this yesterday, correct?
We did not. No. No, this was one of those picks that were banned. Yeah. DT2 and Hidden 2 have been the insta bans for both teams every match yesterday, actually. So this, I don't know if it was banned in the other match that started at 18, but if it was, this is the only match that it was not banned, and would also be the only match it was played. So if it's either banned or picked in the other match, this will have 100% pick ban presence this weekend.
Do you want to take a guess as to what 2 maps were banned immediately? The match of 18 UTC? Yes, sir!
Yeah, okay. Oh, wow. Who could have possibly guessed that, man? Oh, man.
Yeah, also crucial to keep in mind, the second ban phase is coming up after this map, so players should be thinking about what kind of map they want to ban going into that after this map is over.
Well, let's see how this map goes. If it goes well for Waddle Dee, I think Tarczynski Esports, you have potentially a good ban in the free mod 3 or in the one remaining hidden in the hidden 3. But honestly, I looked at the scores from yesterday on the hidden 3 for both of these teams, and it looked pretty good for Tarczynski Esports since they both played it yesterday. So let's keep the hidden 3 open if we're from Poland. As for Waddle Dee, there's quite a lot of potential bans. In the meantime, though, tarczynski, they're winning. Not by much. Only 26K, now 40K, but they're winning. Trades for Birchman and Malashevsky, that's actually better for Waddle Dee. Pikapone and Flute with better combo than Nahus and Milosh. And there's a break for Nahus once again, 2/3 of the way in. Much better accuracy overall for Waddle Dee as well. 96 on Pikapone, 96 on Flute. Matching accuracy for Birchman and Milosh. Malashevsky's on 95, sure, but Nahus is on 90. This is now up to a 100,000 score lead for Waddle Dee, and this is a fantastic pick for their team. Just the accuracy and comfort for Waddle Dee is far higher on this pick than for Tarczynski Esports.
Yeah, Malashevsky was looking really, really good at the beginning, looking like a really, really scary force, holding huge combo, but after breaking, really hasn't been a same threat. There's a triple break on the side of Waddle Dee, but you see there's not really the combo on Tarczynski to recover. Maybe if Malashevsky didn't trade a break with them, it would be a bit of a different story, but 230k lead, that is staying static, that's staying in place. Waddle Dee, it seems like they finally found their place, and now the question comes, if you're Tarczynski Esports, do you ban the free mod 3? You don't look very good on this hidden 2, honestly. Malashevsky's your only player putting forth a real performance right now, and it's still not even close to enough. 727,000 is not going to get you over the line if you're Tarczynski Esports.
Yeah, very nicely done from Waddle Dee there, identifying, hey, they didn't play this yesterday. It's a tough to read pick. They were sight reading yesterday. Maybe they just still didn't practice and are not comfortable on it. Because I think with some practice, obviously, I feel like Milosh and Nahus could put up better scores on this. But it seems like maybe the sight reading has continued. If not, then they are just really uncomfortable on that map. And it ends up being a really good pick for Tarczynski Esports, or sorry, for Waddle Dee, regardless there. So nicely done.
100%. And now, here we go. We enter the second ban phase. Each team, once again, getting a chance to ban a map off the pool. I feel like the ban for Tarczynski Esports is somewhat obviously the free mod 3, right? But it's actually going to be the no mod 1 ban. That feels odd.
Yeah, that's very weird. Why would they ban that? Malashevsky, you asked yesterday. Yeah, they thought they were picking. Okay. Yeah, they thought they were picking.
Okay. That makes so much sense.
So much more sense now,
would
yeah.
not ban the no mod 1.
That makes way more sense. Okay, we're on the same page now. It is, in fact, the ban phase, Malashevsky, not the pick phase. Let's find something to ban. It's going to be the free mod 2 ban for Tarczynski Esports, which is not the low AR free mod, but the high spacing, low circle size, big circle gimmick stream map in the free mod.
Yeah, that free mod 2 is an absolute monster of a beat map. Original song by Cygnus, and it's some classic local hero. Just throw objects at the wall and make them as hard as possible, and it sticks every single time. It is so tough, as you said, just really hard, like kind of gimmicky streams. Not the most comfortable map, especially if you're sight reading it. So it can be a little bit terrifying.
All right, and now we get the no mod 1 pick for Tarczynski Esports. No surprises here. Again, Malashevsky literally double S this yesterday, so no surprise whatsoever that he picked this again. It's 200 BPM and super high spacing cross screen jump aim with some classic Alden space streams. If you know, you know. The space streams in this map are so hard for zero, bro. Alden, stop mapping them like that, please. They're so hard for nothing.
It's like, okay, there's like, there are so many aim mappers in the world, but Alden and Karcher piss me off. The way they map those space streams, I love them to death.
Don't play my aim maps, Tychony. Don't play my aim maps. I do the same thing. It's actually pot calling the kettle black right now. Like, I actually do the exact same thing. So you know what? Like, I understand. Like, I get it. But it's so shit. Sometimes, from a player perspective, it's so shit. From a mapper's perspective, I so get it, bro.
It's
like,
so fun to map,
I gotta be able to put something interesting in the map, you know? Like, I gotta be able to put some kind of interesting pattern in the map.
It might be true, but it'll never make me not like play the pattern, miss everything, immediately hit pause and just stare at the screen for like 5 seconds. Like, really? Are you serious?
Oh man. Well, it looks like we are indeed getting the Nomad 1. Again, Malashevsky SS this yesterday. That's not even the whole story. Waddle Dee also played this. They got 1.3 million team score. Not quite 1.3 million team score. So Malashevsky by himself just needs like a 300k from somebody, and then you probably win the map. Now, let's assume that he misses once in the middle of the map, right? At that point, I think it gets pretty close, because Milosh got about 530k, Nahut's got 377k. So if you find a miss or two for Malashevsky somewhere in this map, it can be pretty close. Assuming that nobody else has the same kind of pop-off run that he had yesterday. And actually, it's going to be Bobbiak coming in over Malashevsky on this map for Tarczynski Esports. Nahus and Milosh staying in. Definitely not the roster I was expecting. And the first time that we have seen Bobbiak all weekend long. The first time that they have made a roster sub all weekend long for Tarczynski Esports.
Yeah, quick question, Drake. Where did you put Malashevsky? Where did he go? You know, so far, though, it's somewhat even. You have only one FC. Sorry, no, you don't even have an FC from Milosh. You have one high combo player per team, basically. Nujabes does have a better support. Nujabes is holding really, really nicely as we go into this first KI. Is going to find a break, breaking the SS. Combo advantage to Tarczynski Esports, but not by much. It's going to take a little bit to actually crawl the score difference back.
Yeah, it's now starting to come back the way of Tarczynski Esports. Nearly 500 combo on Milosh. Nobody else able to match. There is another miss to come through from Bobbiak, but not really going to matter all that much. Milosh outdoing Pikapone. Nahus outdoing either Birchman or Nujabes by enough combo that these breaks for Bobbiak just aren't mattering. 40k and climbing the score lead for Tarczynski Esports. Get into some more of these space streams. Pikapone, the next to drop on the side of Waddle Dee, and there goes Nujabes as well. TS Fury finding the break once again. It's Milosh, it's Nahus, and it's Bobbiak. Lowest combo on the team, but higher than anyone on the side of Waddle Dee going into this second PI time. And Tychony, it started out pretty close, but by the end of the map, Milosh has found the kind of pop-off run that we were saying maybe would help secure victory for Tarczynski Esports. Definitely going to be the pop-off run that does it in this instance. Over 700k now for Milosh. Still going strong with this reverse choke. 99.7 accuracy on the Nomad 1. And Waddle Dee, they're going to not quite match their team score from yesterday, but regardless of which team score they got, would not have mattered in this match today. 1.7 million team score for Tarczynski Esports, and Milosh with just over 900k on the reverse choke. 2 100s, 1 miss there. That's the power of Poland, baby.
Yeah, this
Take out the Malashevsky, it doesn't even matter.
This is the aim of the number 5 player in the world right now, the support of the number 6. It is. This was always going to be a pick that they felt really, really good on, and we saw it didn't even need Malashevsky to throw another SS in. Beautiful, beautiful stuff from Tarczynski Esports, giving Malashevsky a little break before a very, very quick Fremont 3 pick from Waddle Dee. I think they knew, halfway through the hidden 2 that they were going to end up picking the anti-mod Fremont map at some point.
Yeah, I think it just makes sense. And now into that free mod 3, as you said, after the hidden 2 just makes so much sense. I'm expecting double hiddens again from both of these teams because this is an aim-focused anti-mod. There's a lot less of the high BPM mechanics and streams that we saw on the hidden 2, a lot less of the perfect stack overlaps as well, or the patterns that double back on themselves. And instead, this map is low BPM aim mechanics on this free mod, which makes Hard Rock extremely difficult, in my opinion, on this map.
Yeah, I mean, it is something where, unless you are a capital P precision player, you are not going to have a fun time playing Hard Rock on this map. As you said, like, low BPM aim mechanics, it feels like, hypothetically, like, it should be so easy, but when you're actually, like, in the weeds playing Hard Rock on something like that, it feels really, really tough. That the distance between objects combined with quirks of Hard Rock make it feel just a little too odd. I do agree generally, though, that we're likely looking at a double hidden roster from both teams. I think if there is a second Hard Rock player, it is likely going to be on the side of tarczynski esports, just given how they performed on the hidden 2. This might not be your ideal hidden site read. However, I think, Waddle Dee, 2 hiddens, lock it in, don't even care about your Hard Rock player. You want your hidden players to succeed.
Yeah, I think anyone tanking the Hard Rock is probably actually tanking on this map. Let's see who it is. It's going to be TS Fury, Nujabes for Waddle Dee, Peekapone, and Plute on the hiddens. No surprises there, matching the roster from the free mod 4 earlier on in the match. And pretty similar for the set of tarczynski esports as well, but Malashevsky subbing out once again for Bobiak. Double Hard Rock this time for tarczynski esports on both Milosh and Bobiak. Nahus on the hidden for tarczynski esports, and this one's going pretty well at the start here for Waddle Dee. A couple of early breaks coming through from Flute, Peekapone, and Bobiak alongside Nahus. Nujabes now also finding the drop. It's Milosh on the Hard Rock holding the only FC now, but breaks on the space stream, and Taikani gaming for Waddle Dee. 99 on Flute, 97 on Peekapone, almost 97 on Nujabes. Highest act, barely 97 for Milosh right now, but 88 for Nahus on the hidden, 93 for Bobiak on the Hard Rock. It's 160,000 score lead for Waddle Dee, and they don't even need the combo game.
Yeah, it's looking a little spooky for tarczynski esports. You're more than halfway through the map at this point. You have only one player holding combo, and you need a little more than that. You have no support for Milosh. Milosh is playing Hard Rock against players who practiced this map on hidden, frankly. And it's really tough to make a run on your own. Peekapone does break out was the biggest combo in Waddle Dee, but Flute had built up the support combo in that time to make sure that score doesn't go down. It's sitting static around 270k score difference. It's not enough time for tarczynski esports to make it up, no matter what. And it's another point for Waddle Dee. Also, I do want to note, because I was curious, I checked, and Malashevsky seems to be in another multiplayer lobby. I'm wondering, as we switched over to 19 UTC, if he left to play another match, perhaps.
That's, I don't know how well that bodes for tarczynski esports, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
since he left, there are now 2 points for Waddle Dee. Now, I guess, of course, he did play the hidden too, but since he left now, got another point on the board for Waddle Dee here. And this is now less convincing for tarczynski esports, but even then, Nahus and Milosh are still really solid. Bobiak has been performing decently in these 2 picks as well. Has had the roughest time so far out of these 3 players on both of these 2 maps. But actually outscored Nahus on the previous pick, so potentially still a solid roster for tarczynski esports. And definitely they are, with advantage right now, right? They're still up 4-2. They don't have to get any more breakpoints. They just have to win their own picks. So if you just pick well for this specific version of your roster, then you still win the match, right? You don't have to take any breakpoints. Nothing fancy required. And this DT1 is definitely a straightforward, nothing fancy, no ridiculous picks required sort of map. It's polygonal pattern aim, which is somewhat awkward, especially in the Kiais, where it starts off with wide angle jumps going around the edges of a shape and then transitions to acute jumps going through the center of a shape, making a star or diamond or whatever type of shape. And this is really, really good for Tarczynski Esports. They have Nahus and Milosh, who are both one digit on this team. So yeah, I think DT aim is pretty good for these guys.
Yeah, rumor around the street is I've heard those guys like double time. Yeah, I think that's absolutely the pick, right? You won on No Mod 1. You have such a strong DT roster, and as you said, like, this map is so awkward. This is not your run-of-the-mill sort of farmy DT1. You are looking at, as soon as you get into the Ki, it's a shape made of 1/2 jumps, and then a 1/1 break, and then another shape made of 1/2 jumps, and then a 1/1 break, on repeat until the end of the Ki. Like, it requires a lot of inconsistency across different wide-angled shapes. It's really, really not easy to hit if you're familiar with playing those types of maps at all. And it's, as a DT map, it's pretty fast too. 263 BPM is this map. And also, just to verify, yes, Malashevsky is in the lobby for a different tournament right now. So, unsure if he might come back to this match, but at the very least, for now, not part of this match.
Nope. Let's see how it goes for him. And for the rest of his team here in Tarczynski Esports, couple of act drops at the start here for Bobyak. Everybody else, and Pikapone actually also dropping the accuracy, but Bobyak the first to miss now on these wide-angle polygonal jumps. You see the pentagon and then into the square in this first Ki time. Nahus and Pikapone trading misses. It's Nujabes and Birchman holding the FCs for Waddle Dee. Milosh, the only FC for Tarczynski Esports, as Bobyak and Pikapone trade once again. Bobyak now missing a second time, but untraded. And now Waddle Dee, they're going to see, oh shit, we have advantage. We have 2 FCs, they only have 1. Just hold the FCs and we win. But how much will that affect the nerves between these 2 players? TS Fury and Birchman needing to hold these FCs versus Milosh, who also needs to hold for Tarczynski Esports, right? It goes the other way as well. If Milosh misses, especially now with that double miss for Nahus and Bobyak, the game is over if Milosh misses. Nujabes also trading things out for Waddle Dee. It's 1-1 on the full combos, but there goes Milosh! That's the only FC down now for Tarczynski Esports. Birchman left alone, 5 other misses in the lobby, and Canada getting their revenge on this DT1 pick. Taikani, Birchman is making it happen, and Waddle Dee may just look to pull off the upset. They still need to take a few more points, but this break point crucial in helping to even things out.
Dio, it's looking like a miracle for the Canadian team. It's everything they'd ever want on this DT1. Yes, they triple break right there, but 300k advantage this much into the map. It's looking as good as over. Nahus and Milosh, they have some recovery, but they do not have enough momentum to take it down. Somehow, Waddle Dee found the path, right? They found 2 players who were able to make it through the onslaught of the, again, number 5 and 6 players in the world, players who have reached that rank in the DT meta of, Osu.
In the DT meta of forever? I mean...
In the DT meta of forever, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, that is fantastic for Waddle Dee, right? You cannot ask for much better than being able to get just a really, really good overall team score there. 700k for Birchman, 560k as well for, I believe it was TS Fury and Nujabes. And that is a break point for the Canadian squad, now looking to even things up with their next pick. And from here, I mean, I don't think you pick more DT. Let's get that out of the way. I don't think you pick more DT. You banned out the DT2. Keep it that way. Don't pick DT3.
You maybe
but
pick
something...
DT4, but given that they banned it,
yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know.
Yeah, DT4 was a pretty solid pick yesterday for them, I believe. But, man, it's just... Yeah, honestly, DT4 is not a bad idea. Yorma Kandini, it was one of 2 losses for Tarczynski Esports yesterday. So why not pick it, really? Because you know that this team is beatable on that map already. A lot of the other picks in this pool, maybe not so much. That said, Big Carry not here for Tarczynski Esports anymore. And so things like some of the other maps look a little less frightening. The Nomad 4 potentially an option now. The Fremod 1, another one of these aim picks. And yeah, you lost the Nomad 1, but you're winning on the DT 1. Honestly, I actually don't like this pick. Fremod 1 is more similar to the Nomad 1 and the Hidden 1 than it is to DT 1. I'm not sure if I like this pick. But we'll see. They just won on aim, so maybe just take that momentum and run with it here into the Fremod 1. It's another type of polygonal awkward aim map, so the actual patterning is more similar to the DT1 than on the Nomad 1 or Hidden 1. Obviously, the BPM and general map structure is going to be a little bit more similar on this to the Nomad 1 and Hidden 1, just not being a DT map.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I'm not crazy about this pick myself. It's just, it's such a risk. What I'm curious about is why both teams are dodging Hard Rock so hard. Hard Rock 1, 2, and 3 have been left open this entire match, and neither team wants to bite, it feels. You have Love Bites, so do I. Hard Rock 1 is, it's an option. It's kind of an alt aim map. It's very interesting. And you know, neither team has really been especially crazy about alt, aside from the Nomad 3 pick from Tarczynski earlier. We also have that Hard Rock 2 that challenges the precision that we saw Waddle Dee play in the Fremod 3. The Hard Rock 3 is kind of a mishmash of everything, really, but neither team really wants to touch the Hard Rock pool, and I'm very curious when we're going to end up seeing it.
Well, let's see if there are any more of those interesting picks later on. For now, into the Fremod 1. Decaphone on the Hidden alongside Birchman. Nujabes on the Hard Rock for Waddle Dee. Nahus and Bobyak on the Hidden. Malashevsky back in on the Hard Rock for Tarczynski Esports. Wait a second. They pulled a fast one on us.
Apparently Milos is also playing a match.
Oh my god. So they've got 2 people playing multiple matches at the same time for Tarczynski Esports. Let's see how this goes for them. Malashevsky coming in on a awkward aim map is about as good of a time as any for him to come in. His awkward aim is absolutely incredible. So this is a pretty good time for him to come back in, especially with multiple breaks coming through for everyone on Waddle Dee. It's Nahus and Malashevsky holding the double FC for Tarczynski Esports. Bobyak has found some breaks as well. Unfortunately for him, bottom scoring the lobby, but you don't need to add all that much to a double FC. Malashevsky on 100 right now. Nahus still on 99 with the Hidden. And there's good recovery for everyone on the side of Waddle Dee, but not enough to combat this double FC. That said, the score lead not going up for Tarczynski Esports. It's only 70k right now, Taikani, and because Bobyak is struggling and has that lowest combo, this score lead's not really going up all that quickly for Tarczynski Esports, finally starting to move a little bit in their favor.
Yeah, the problem is, as you pointed out, with Bobyak not really providing any support at all, the second that one of Nahus or Malashevsky breaks, it's going to look really, really doomed. Yeah, you're fighting kind of averages versus peaks, right? You may have 2 peak scores of a sort. You do see Birchman go down, which is going to help Tarczynski Esports, get a little more comfortable. but the average score on Waddle Dee is just so much higher with the combination of the 3 players. So you really have to hope that Nahus and Malashevsky can hold on, because the second that one of them breaks, it gets into really scary territory. Sorry.
I like that though, Scaratory. That's a good one.
Scaratory does go kind of hard.
Oh god, never mind. It's Scaratory for Waddle Dee right now. 3-way break. Pikapone and Nujabes also finding the drops. Malashevsky might break on the Hard Rock, but doesn't matter. They are chilling for Tarczynski Esports. Nahus still finding the FC 230k up, and yeah, Scaratory engaged for Waddle Dee on this pick. Breakpoint right back for Tarczynski Esports, almost guaranteed now into the last quarter of the map.
Yeah, that score difference ballooned real quick. Nahus finds a break, but the job, frankly, it's done. You know, you have such a high score difference. Yes, it's climbing back, but you would need multiple breaks from Nahus and Malashevsky to really enable it in this last TI. 181 is just such a big score difference with how much of the map is left. Pikapone and Berkman both find breaks, and that should honestly steal it on its own.
And that is a successful breakpoint now for Tarczynski Esports. And suddenly, Waddle Dee, the chances of a comeback, the chances of an upset look pretty rough for them in this map. So let's see how it goes for them as we get into the last pick for Tarczynski Esports. They just need to win this one map, and the game is over. Waddle Dee needing to win 3 in a row, not just... Actually, no, 2 more picks for Tarczynski Esports, excuse me. We were not quite tied up 4-4. It is 3-5, and so Tarczynski Esports 2 picks left. Waddle Dee just 1 pick left, and Waddle Dee needs to... No, sorry. Well, I'm tripping. 1 pick left for each team. Waddle Dee needs to win both of them and the tiebreaker in order to stay in the tournament. Tarczynski Esports, just any one of the next 3 maps. And Taikini, we're playing all of the AIM maps today. Hard Rock 1 up next. And, well, out of the 4 AIM maps we've played so far, only 1 of them has gone the way of Waddle Dee. So I have to say, I like the pick for Tarczynski Esports. They're 3 for 4 on the AIM maps. Let's try and make it 4 for 5 with the Hard Rock 1.
Raise your hand if you love the number 1. I think a certain Polish team does. Yeah, this is a bit of an interesting pick. 250 BPM is... you look at the DT1 at 262, and personally, I start to wonder, does this look similar? It's kind of a weirder styled map, though, where it's kind of mapped like an alt map, but it is an A map, like, objectively. It's very weird to describe, but there's a lot of those kind of, like, alty flow patterns and some really weird slider shapes that you don't traditionally see in A maps like this. So I would say it really has no comparison across any of the A maps we played so far.
All right, let's see how this Hard Rock 1 goes. We have Nahus, Malashevsky, and Bobyak in once again for Tarczynski Esports. Milosh staying out, potentially in that other match. Pikapone, Nujabes, and Birchman in for Waddle Dee.
All right. Yeah, 3 minutes straight of really hard aim. There's really only one section that steps off the gas a little bit. This map is constantly hard. You can break anywhere, as we see in this verse. Bobyak and Nujabes trade breaks on the same slider tick. It is helpful to note, yes, there is slider ticks. Just given that some of the weirdest slider shapes, we see Nahus find a break early on as well. It's only Malashevsky. He is pulling the SS, but doing so against 2 full combos is going to start to shift that score lead as we get into the first PI.
These extra combos for Waddle Dee, no longer extra, actually. Peekapone finding the drop there. It's Birchman and Malashevsky holding on to the biggest combos in the lobby, but Nujabes having a better combo than Nahus means the score lead could keep going the way of Waddle Dee. And there goes Malashevsky, full combo down. Now for Tarczynski Esports, it's Waddle Dee holding on to the only FC in the lobby. It's 96 act for Birchman, but the combo is still going strong. It's 99 act for TS Fury. Nujabes on that recovery, still outperforming anyone on Tarczynski Esports with that miss from Nahus and Bobbiak. Now Birchman goes down, but Nujabes there to pick up the slack, and the score lead continuing to build for this Canadian squad. How long can Nujabes hold on to this during this second TI time halfway through the map? If you miss here, it's a big missed opportunity. But there goes Malashevsky, and now suddenly shoe on the other foot. No opportunity for Tarczynski Esports to stage a comeback. Bobbiak with the biggest combo, but struggling overall throughout the rest of the map. Doesn't give much confidence that he can keep it for very long. And now Nujabes on 99 accuracy with this 700 combo is looking to lead Waddle Dee to victory. There's the double break for Nahus and Bobbiak. It comes through for Nujabes as well, but Taikani 200,000 point lead for Waddle Dee, and another breakpoint almost certainly secured for the Canadians.
And you have two players holding Malashevsky back. Maybe there was a chance that Malashevsky could stage a recovery in the final quarter of this map, but you see Peekapone and Birchman, they're both holding the combos now. Nujabes has done their job, reached 500k, held the score up against Malashevsky, against Nahus, against Bobbiak, and now with Peekapone and Birchman here to finish the job. There is no shot for the Polish squad to make it back in. That score lead's only climbing. Break from Birchman doesn't matter this late into the game. Peekapone finally looked a little uncomfortable at first, but really showing in the map's final hour to secure a massive breakpoint for Waddle Dee on Tarczynski Esports' final pick.
Now Waddle Dee, they still need to break it to tiebreaker, but they have their own last pick to do it with. One more point on the board brings them to tiebreaker against seed number 2 with the opportunity to take the match away out from under them. What is the last pick? That's the real question here for Waddle Dee. The pool has been whittled down now to very little left. No aim maps left, of course. And we go pretty even on the aim maps overall. DT1 Hard Rock 1 both going the way of Waddle Dee. Okay, so hear me out. I think it's DT4 or it's Hard Rock 3.
Whoa.
And DT4 because yesterday, of course, Tarczynski Esports kind of lost on that map, right? They banned out the Nomad 5 again. Hard Rock 3, because I think if you're going into Hard Rock 2 on the mechanics precision, okay, it's going to be Hard Rock 2 instead. Okay, just straight up mechanics precision here for Waddle Dee. I don't know, because on the free mod 3, they do end up winning that map, but it's with double Hard Rock on the opponents and double Hidden on themselves. The Hidden 2, of course, very different. They've won the only Hard Rock pick so far, but again, free mod 4 was double Hidden for both of these teams. And the carry player for Tarczynski Esports on the free mod 4 was Malashevsky with the Hard Rock. So I don't know how much I like it, but I also don't know how much I like any of the other maps in the pool right now, to be honest. Nomad 2 I definitely don't like. Nomad 4, I'm not picking that against Malashevsky. DT3, absolutely not. This is just not a speed team. And DT4, Hard Rock 3 are kind of the only other options. So if you're not comfortable with either of those, then this is the only other straightforward map left in the pool that's not going to get you mechanics gapped.
Yeah, I have to imagine that DT4 is just the team sheet looks abysmal on it, frankly. It's another thing where, you know, I have to mention again that they chose to ban DT4 over the Nomad 2 yesterday into Waddle Dee, which was looking so strong in the Nomad 2. They went for the DT4 ban instead, completely out of left field from Waddle Dee. And it feels like the team just does not have the confidence on that map, even if hypothetically the skill set should be good for them. So Hard Rock 2, potentially their last line. You know, maybe the team sheet has something crazy, and I guess we'll see it as we get into maybe the final map for this team, maybe the last before tiebreaker.
All right, here we go into the last pick of the match. Last pick for Waddle Dee, looking to force this tiebreaker. Breaks for Pikapone, Nahus, Bobiak to start things off. Nujabes, Birchman, and Malashevsky on the full combos. A third of the way in already. This is a very, very short pick. 1 minute and 49 seconds on the clock. And as we get past this 1/3 point into the middle of the map, it's still the double FC going strong for Waddle Dee. Better accuracy on the 1 FC for Tarczynski Esports from Malashevsky, but another couple of breaks from Nahus. Bobiak trying to fend off Pikapone, but getting out-act pretty severely, 97 to 93 there. And it's the double FC, Taikani. It's the extra combo on Waddle Dee doing so much work right now. There goes Birchman, there goes Bobiak. Better trade for Tarczynski Esports, but not enough. Nujabes and Pikapone versus Malashevsky is still a better trade for Waddle Dee. And now Nujabes finding the drop as well. It's the last FC gone for Waddle Dee, but I don't know if there's enough time. I don't think there's enough score left for Malashevsky to make up this difference. It's going to have to be that way as Pikapone also finds the drop. There's now no combo anywhere besides Malashevsky. Everyone else has found the drops, but as we come to the end of the map, even with the Hard Rock multiplier, I just don't think there's enough score left on Malashevsky's play to bring this home. It's going to be close by the end of the map, but no, it is not going to be enough. Full combo with 99 act for Malashevsky, but still the overall better team play from Waddle Dee nets them the tiebreaker by 76,000 points. And Waddle Dee get 2 tiebreakers in a weekend. The second one now versus Tarczynski Esports, the 2nd seed. And you have to imagine there's a little bit of deja vu here for Tarczynski Esports, having already been beaten by the 10th seed, now against the 11th seed going to tiebreaker. You do not want to give up this top 6 finish for either of these teams. It's extinction by 5 kilobet. And Taikani, why don't you tell us about the map?
Well, this map is an incredibly tough tech tiebreaker. These map values are a little off. But 210 BPM is correct. Just round to the nearest number. OD 9.9, AR 9.9. Pretty standard map stats at this point, but the 210 BPM in combination with the tech, especially the slider tech, there is a lot of really, really tough slider aim located throughout this map. Combined with these kind of more bursty, like stream flow elements, can make this really, really tough to combo. Not we saw in Waddle Dee versus Waddle Doo, you know, the best score on the map was 363k from Pikapone. It is not a map where you're expected to be consistently comboing anything. That said, I do want to point out in Tarczynski Esports match earlier this weekend, they played tiebreaker for Showcase. Now, Malashevsky was the only Tarczynski player in the lobby, but he also happened to get 600k on Hidden, blowing the highest score out of the water. And we'll see as we go into Extinction, the Resurrection Cup original semifinals tiebreaker, if he can do it again alongside Nahus and Milosh.
See it now getting into the tiebreaker. It is already a few breaks coming through. Pikapone, Birchman, and Nahus finding these early drops. Nujabes now also dropping for Waddle Dee. And Taikani, there's been a lot of work done by Waddle Dee to get here to the tiebreaker, but you've got one of the tiebreaker final bosses on the other side here. Malashevsky on open rank tournament tiebreakers. I mean, you look at the leaderboard. for any of these maps. You look at them for RPG, for Palace of Melancholia, for Echoes of Memoria. All of these tiebreakers have him, if not as the best play, as one of the best plays on the map. And there's a reason for that. He is ridiculously good at all of these tiebreakers. And when he played it in their match yesterday, now their match didn't go to tiebreaker, but they played it for fun. He got almost 600k sight read on this tiebreaker with 1500 combo on Hidden, taking Hidden for fun. So you've got a tall bar to climb over for Waddle Dee. The ride forces you to be at least this tall if you want to get into finals weekend. There's a couple of breaks coming through for Nahus. Milosh also dropping the combo, and actually better overall team combo now for Waddle Dee. So it's still possible that they actually do find the win on this map, but you're going to have to combo for a little while. Malashevsky is still on this 99% FC, and Peakbone finding another miss there. It is matched by Nahus. It's Nujabes and Birchman versus Malashevsky, but there goes Birchman, and now it's just Nujabes versus Malashevsky on the tiebreaker. Big combo for both of them, but the FC for Malashevsky about 300 combo ahead. And 65k score in favor of Tarczynski Esports going into the second half of the tiebreaker.
Yeah, but Dio, it's coming. The toughest slider tech portion of the map is on the way. This next section full of red tech sliders, it's so tough, and Nujabes goes down to a slow slider at the beginning of the section. Malashevsky now uninterrupted. 1300 combo going into the biggest slider tech section of the map. There is no combo on Waddle Dee to contest Malashevsky, and now he gets to do what he does best. This is what Malashevsky does. He is made to do this practically. Not missing a single slider tech in a single slider tech in this slider tech section. These sliders are so ridiculously difficult, but he makes them look easy as we reach the end of the section. Going into the stream section, going into that flow in, he's looking so good. That score difference is ballooning so fast. It was once 80k, now it's really quickly becoming 200k as Malashevsky refuses to let go of this incredible full combo.
This is the problem with getting to tiebreaker versus a team with Malashevsky on it, is you know he's going to put up a ridiculous tiebreaker score. You need somebody to match him, otherwise you're just not going to get through the impenetrable wall of one of the best tournament players in the world, the most decorated tournament player in the world. There's a reason he has all those badges, man. You're looking at it right now.
I saw one person in chat saying that how we got the tiebreaker, this match was a dream. No. It was a nightmare all along. Malashevsky in the final hour showing up. We thought he might not even be here for a second. But here with 2,000 combo to boot, Malashevsky making known one of the greatest players in the game. He does not care about any of this. He will combo.
Like, what are we doing? He's still on the full combo right now. He's still on the 99 AC FC at the moment, going into the last difficult section of the map. Huge spacing on all of these triples. The 1/3 wiggles not catching him off either. All of the